Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Excited to be connecting in with you. And can you believe it is September? I am just amazed at how quickly September has come this year. In California, we're still having quite warm weather, so it doesn't quite feel like September yet, but calendar says it is, and I love the fall season. So I'm really excited to see and step into the season this year and that coolness and all the colors changing. So I just love this time of year. So perhaps September has surprised you as well. I find time moves so quickly. So I'm very honored to have each of you connecting with us today. And I love our two guests that we're going to be sharing with you. They have created something special together. They have a really amazing connection that we can't wait to share with you about. And they're going to talk with us about the project that they have brought forward that really taps into our impossible dreams. For any dreamers out there, for anyone who has this someday, I want to bring this forward, I know you're going to be encouraged, inspired, and touched by our time together today. So I'm honored to have each of you leaning in to spend this time with us together. So as we come together, I want you to choose to be fully present. This is your time. Choose to be here. Not multitasking, pulled a zillion directions, but really choosing to pause, to be present, to breathe deeply in through your nose, all the way to your toes, and out through your mouth, like through a straw. Mindfully, purposely bringing that beautiful oxygen in, that support, releasing, breathing out what no longer serves, creating room and space for more. This kind of mindful, purposeful breathing helps bring us together, connect us. It helps us pause, lowering our cortisol levels as we're bringing, and stress levels as we stop and pause and bring all this beautiful oxygen in. It also gives us an opportunity as we're breathing and releasing and becoming centered to listen, to open our ears, our heart, our mind, and truly hear what perhaps is bubbling up within us. And sometimes we're a little too busy to listen, to truly hear. I invite you today as we come together to listen, to receive those messages that bubble up within you that perhaps we share that touch your heart and spirit. Really drink in everything that is here for you today. In fact, let's dial this up. Let's take a moment and close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Keep breathing as we become more and more calm and centered. Beautiful. And as you close your eyes, I invite you to put your hands on your heart. You're absolutely safe. And if you put both hands on your heart, notice the beat of your heart. And even notice that little pause in between the beats of your heart. And see what is bubbling up, what is speaking to you, what is your heart wanting you to know today? What will encourage you and empower you, support you in chasing down, stepping into your dream, your impossible dream? What can help you move forward and support you in that? And just see with curiosity what comes up, what bubbles up. Beautiful. Let's take another breath. Come back into the room, fully present, and let's see, take a moment and actually write down what was laid on your heart. See what was bubbling up. Let's start to interact with it, bring it forward, have it not just swirling around in us, but write it down, and then be listening as we go through our time together today for tips, inspiration, things that you can do, you can start to implement, you can be inspired by to keep stepping forward into your amazing and impossible dreams. Beautiful. So I'm going to open up the lines here and bring on our beautiful guests and just have them share a short share when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on their heart. Rob, I'd love to start with you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Great. Excited to have you here.
Thank you for having us. I would tell you that the thing that I was thinking about was gratitude. That's what I felt.
I love that. Gratitude. Beautiful. Thank you. And how about you, Shari? What was laid on your heart?
I was thinking the same thing, only I was counting my blessings for the fact that we have 5 sons and that 2 of them are involved right this morning with us. And they are my strength, and they have been for like the last 60 years. So I'm really grateful for them.
I love that. Grateful and counting your blessings. Beautiful. I noticed when I paused and we started to connect and breathe, I have a few different cats in the studio here, and one of them, Pumpkin, came and jumped up on my chair and was almost pushing me out of the chair, trying to cuddle in and connect as we were pausing and breathing. And it just really made me feel loved and connected. And that's what I feel every time we come together and we take that moment to stop, pause, and deliberately connect in. So I just feel connected with my guests and with each and every one of you. And I'm very excited to see what comes forward. And I also think it was very purposeful of all our different kitties that Pumpkin is the one that joined in. So we'll expand on that in our right, Rob? In our conversation as we continue in our talks today and our conversations today. So I'm excited to see what unfolds. And with that, we are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. As we do so, listeners, I want you to really choose to stay present. Trust that you are here on purpose and there's a reason that you connected in today. So use these next 2 minutes to just pause, be present, and see what is bubbling up on your heart and spirit. Notice if there are some connection opportunities that are coming in and coming close, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. And I'm just excited to continue our conversation. Now, this show I have been looking forward to for a long time, ever since I learned about this project that we're going to be sharing about. And it is one that just touched my heart, touched my spirit. I'm very, very excited we get to bring on the authors that are creating this book and share a little bit about it. And I want to start with introducing our first guest, Rob, that you heard from a little bit in the opening segment. So Rob Gibbons enjoys creating magical stories, pictures, and poems for children of all ages. Rob is married to his high school sweetheart and best friend, Allison. Faith and family are vital to them. They believe laughter is the best medicine, and to prove it, they had children, 5 of them, to continue that journey. And Rob credits his passion for drawing and writing to his mom, Shari, who we also have on the show today. And he is passionate about making a positive difference with his stories. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the dynamic, creative, and powerful Rob Gibbons to the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you. That's quite an introduction. I appreciate that.
Oh,
How are you doing today?
You're very welcome. I am great and just honored to have you joining us. And I wanted to start with a question about why this work of creating stories and pictures and poems, particularly for children. Why is that something that's so important to you?
You know, I've always enjoyed doing that. I love doing that. I think the reason is children are simple, and I feel like life should be simple, and we don't need to make things any harder than we do. And I love the thoughts and abilities to convey messages and spend time with children because they're not complicated, and they just they get it, and the message can be simple. And I think I'm a proponent of the fact that you just don't have to have huge, long messages. Just the simple ones will suffice. And children, they're pure, and I just love their being in their presence, and I enjoy time with them, and they're sharp. If you give them a few minutes and some time, you really realize how sharp these children are. So I do it because I love it, and I love spending time. And I love spending time with my grandkids. We have 13 of them, and I adore them, and I love creating things for them.
I love it. And I find with some that you have shared with me, not only is it something that I think children will really enjoy, but it touches adult hearts too. Or maybe I'm young at heart. I'm not quite sure, but I love it. And what you've created and brought forward, and have found myself reflecting on some of the messages. So I find that they're impactful for all ages, I believe. And those simple messages we can take in and drink in, I think, more deeply sometimes than the overly complicated ones. Oh, I love the work that you do.
Well, thanks. And you know what? Those messages are subtle, but you're right. I do make sure adults can catch those too. And I try to make them so that the children and adults can, and both get something out of it. Sometimes in some of my poetry or even my stories, there'll be, something in there humorous that maybe an adult will pick up on, the kid won't, maybe until they're older. But hopefully there's just enough subtlety there that both enjoy. So I'm glad you caught that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So I'd like to talk about the book that you are both about to launch and share with the world. I'm very excited about it. So I'd love for you to share the title of the book and why this book and what inspired it. I'd love to know.
Well, a quick, fast story. I'll tell you how it was inspired, but it's called Pumpkin's Impossible Dream. Mm-hmm. And it was created from a fun story. I was over at my mom's house one day years ago, about 7 years ago, and we usually it'll take a day or two in a week, and we'll go and we'll paint together and draw together. And she was working on a picture that had 3 stacked pumpkins. And to me, they looked like a snowman, and she was putting a face on them. And I said to her, Mom, I think there's a story in that. And so we finished painting for the day, and then I went home that evening and began working on the book that would become this story. And interestingly enough, a side note, and people probably don't know this about me, but when I write a poem or often a story, I myself don't know what the ending of the story is. Until I get to the end, and I like to be as surprised as everybody else at what happens at the end. And I think Pumpkin's Impossible Dream has a great ending, and it's the only way I think when I got to the end of that, it's the only way I think it could have ended. So people have to wait and read it to see what that is, but that's how it came about.
Oh, thank you for sharing. And I love that you get to be surprised too. How beautiful that is as the story unfolds. I love that. Now, this particular book, Pumpkin's Impossible Dream, listeners, it's going to be coming out on September 24th. So mark that date on your calendar. We're going to be sharing out information as we get closer, but that's just around the corner because it's September already. So September 24th, it will be available in a digital form for the special rate of $2.99 for the first 24 to 48 hours. So you want to be able to lean in, take advantage of this beautiful book. It ties into the holidays beautifully, which is really nice as well. And I found as I enjoyed this book, not only because I have a cat named Pumpkin, so it made me smile, just the title of it, but I found it very inspiring. And so I'm curious, as it came together and you discovered the ending, which we're not going to give away because that's part of the magic of the book, but what do you hope, Rob, children and adults gain from it or discover or are inspired by?
Well, I think the main message is in the title, but it's, we all have dreams and to discover those. And I had a teacher that asked me when I was 14 years old to write down 5 goals, and I took that serious and I wrote them down. And one of those goals all the way back then was to write a book. And in many regards, Pumpkin's Impossible Dream is an outward expression of of an impossible dream for me. Of all of the goals I had, which, I won't share them all with you, but, one was owning my own business and so on and so on. But this one was the one that seemed to be or feel the most impossible, was to create a book. And I don't know if anybody out there listening has done that, but it is quite a work, and it made me appreciate people that have done that and do that on a regular basis. And so it's just kind of an outward expression of that goal, and it's me fulfilling my one of my lifetime goals. And so my message would be to people, if you've got one, push for it. And of course, through the book, you're going to find out that's Pumpkins. That's the whole theme of the book, is to push and to create your life and to do what you dream about doing.
Beautiful. I love it. And one of the things that I feel is magical about this book, not only is it an outward expression of one of your impossible dreams coming forward, you've also collaborated and come together with your mom to create this book and bring this forward. And so I'd love for you to share why that was the way you went about it and why you're excited and it was important to you and exciting to work with your mom on this project.
Well, and that's a great question, and I appreciate that, because the joy that I've had to be able to work with her and all of these years sitting down and us drawing things together and doing things and to spend the time. I hope everybody has a relationship with their mom that I do, and it's fabulous. And we spend time, we laugh together, we enjoy, we eat Fig Newtons together, we drink Diet Coke together, we just sit and do all this. And there's just a great, when you say collaborate, that's a great word for it. But the when it's all said and done, the time that I get to spend with her and to create memories and do this stuff with her, and then to actually produce something that we can share with the world is just the icing on the cake. But that's this time that we spent together to create this, and it's been numerous. As you know, when you create books,
yep,
it's a joy.
Thank you for sharing. It's so beautiful. And we get to get a taste of that with what you are bringing forward and sharing with the world, which is just beautiful. So, and the answer, because my next question was going to be, what did you like best? And I feel like you answered that beautifully about working together and bringing this forward. So I'd love to take a moment and have you describe the cover and why that cover was selected. And because I know there were different options that were considered and brought forward so that people have a visual of what to look for.
Yeah, so it's of course it shows Pumpkin and since we're in September, it's in his September state. The book goes over several months, as you'll know, as you've read it, and as others will look into it. But it shows him in that young spring, that late summer state with your pumpkin cat right there next to him.
I love it.
and it's just there's certain innocence I think about that front cover, but the most important reason that cover is there is because my mom said that was the one she wanted, and she is the artist in this book, and that's the one she loved the most. And of course, this is her pure artistic work that goes into this, and she has the last word on it. But it is it's a fun, inviting cover. I think you might agree with me, Rebecca, that just invites people hopefully to open that book and say, hey, what's the rest of this story in here?
It does. It's very warm. It's very welcoming, intriguing. And I think it's neat because it's a book that ties into October and the Halloween season. And I feel like it's really nice to have some books that you can tap into, some children's books that tie into that season as well, especially one with such a positive message interwoven in it. So yes, absolutely inviting and fun, and definitely you lean in and want to find out what is Pumpkin's impossible dream.
Right.
So with that, as we get ready to navigate to our next commercial break, any final thoughts or shares that you want to give our listeners as we get ready to go to our next break?
Well, you mentioned it. You mentioned in the first part in my bio, but family's important, and not only has this been important for me and my mom, but the rest of our siblings, family members, kids, grandkids, everybody's enjoyed in the process, and it's been out. We actually wrote the story 7 years ago, and it's only now that we're getting it published, but we love the idea of sharing that and getting it out with everybody in the world now, and I am hoping and grateful that other kids around the whole world will enjoy it just as much as we do, hopefully.
Beautiful. Well, I am sure they will. I can't wait for it to be shared and released into the world. I know it's going to bring so many smiles to people's hearts and to their spirits as well as their faces as they lean in and get a copy to enjoy. So thank you, Rob, for joining us today. I know prior to launch, it's an extra busy time, and I appreciate you, both of you, taking time today to lean in for our conversation. We are going to our next commercial break, and as we do so, listeners, what's one of your impossible dreams that you can stretch and perhaps take a step on today? We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes. And we were talking a little bit behind the scenes, and even one of Shari's sons jumped on briefly. So it was great to hear an additional son join the conversation. And that's just a reminder for anyone who wants to call in, or you have a question or a comment. We always welcome that. Feel free to call that number, the 800 number that we give each break. You're welcome to call in. We love to hear from our listeners. Any questions or comments that you may have, you're absolutely welcome. And I'll have my tech team, if you want to type that number, I'll read it off during this next segment, just in case anybody missed it. Oh, I am excited to introduce our next guest. You got to hear from her a little bit in the beginning, and she was talking about how she was just in a moment, in a period of gratefulness as we were starting the show and reflecting and counting her blessings. And that's how we got to start the time together. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Shari, who's Rob's mom. So Shari Gibbons is a talented illustrator who has created watercolor paintings, artworks for books, and vital connections to children. She never gets bored and is famous for arriving on any vacation with an entire suitcase of art supplies to share with her grandchildren. I love that. She received her passion for art from her parents, and she loves that through the pages of this book, all children will share in her talents and be able to enjoy them for many years to come. She married her husband, Rich, 62 years ago. And they have 5 married sons, 22 grandchildren, and 26 great-grandchildren. She is passionate about art and believes art is in the heart. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the creative and talented Shari Gibbons to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm just thrilled and honored to have you joining us today. And I know in the opening segment or the previous segment, there we go, we were talking with Rob a little bit about his perspectives on this book and the project. And I wanted to get yours as well. In Pumpkin's Impossible Dream, why was this the book that you leaned into collaborating in and you knew this was the one you wanted to bring forward?
Well, we were doing this before Halloween several years ago, wanting to give it to our little grandkids at our Halloween party, which we do every year. And that's why we were working on it. And yet it wasn't our goal to turn it into a worldwide renowned little pumpkin book. But we just did it for our family, and still at this point, if really the thing that counts is that it's for our little kids.
Well, I love that, and I feel like it's such a family treasure that you've created, and now you're willing to share it with the world and entrust us with it, and we get to, in a way, get a taste of being a little bit part of your family and sharing some of that.
All right. That's really true.
Yeah.
That's really true.
So that's a privilege and an honor, and I know anyone who opens this book will feel that connection and that closeness. I feel like it's in the stories, it's in the words, and it's in the artwork. So I want to thank you for...
We love that little pumpkin, and we want him to be loved by everyone.
I love it. I love it. And as you put together the pictures and finalized everything, was there a favorite moment that you had in that journey? Any surprises? Anything that you want to share without giving away the ending of the story? I just love to know some of your perspective because you were the illustrator that created all the beautiful artwork.
Well, I think the story of Pumpkin is just speaks for itself. But he is not a quitter, and he likes to have that dream, and he's not giving it up, and he keeps trying, and we just find a healthy balance in traveling with that little pumpkin, and we love him, and we just think that human interest stories are all about people who beat the odds or come from behind or share a dream or accomplish the impossible. And he knows how to do all that, even though he's so innocent and sweet. And he comes up against creatures that aren't very nice about it. They don't, in that story, he doesn't, he isn't very popular all the time because of his dream, but he doesn't give up.
Yes, I agree. And he was very persistent. It didn't happen overnight, was taking those steps. It was a journey, and he kept persevering and kept stepping forward. And is very inspiring, I feel like, in his walk. So I know anyone who reads this book will absolutely fall in love with Pumpkin like your family has. And I'm curious, as the story goes out into the world, what are you hoping children and adults will gain from it or discover?
Well, I think that I would really hope that little kids would realize that sometimes children at school will bully, or sometimes kids in the neighborhood might be bullies, but that they can be pumpkin and they can just be tough, and they don't have to take it. And I think that I hope parents, when they read it to their children, will emphasize that, and that they will echo to their children that they can choose what they want to hear and to believe, and it is their choice as to how they react.
Wonderful, powerful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And this, I love that you and your son get together on a regular basis and create together. I think that's really beautiful. And one of the things that you guys, even though you wrote this and created this so many years ago, have come together and updated, shifted some things as you've looked to bring it forward. And why was that important to you? Why are you excited to collaborate, create something like this, and publish it and launch it to the world with your son in particular? Why was that important to you?
Well, I just love spending time with my boys, and Rob's our oldest. And so I have really fun memories of him when he was little and time we spent together, and it's just like it's continuing on because we're doing children things with this story. And so I'm living the impossible dream, really, to be able to spend time with my kids. We're really fortunate because with my husband's work, we've traveled all over the country and lived so many different places, like probably 17 places. And now we're retired and we're back in this Salt Lake Valley. And we're like 15 minutes from each one of these boys. They all live here in the valley. So I'm so happy, and it is just a great blessing to be back where we can spend time together. And writing a little book with Rob has just been such a treat. It's like the cherry on the top of the pie.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And we all are just going to be so blessed and touched and inspired by what's coming out of that time that you guys are creating together and bringing this book forward. So I'm just excited. I know that people are going to be really touched by Pumpkin's Impossible Dream, and I just want to make sure everyone has the date on their calendar. It will be released on September 24th. It'll be released in its digital form. Special rate of $2.99 for the first 24 hours, possibly 48, but you want to make sure to get in on it in that first 24 hours. We're going to be posting and sharing out in media. We're very excited and wanted you guys to know in advance so you can put it on your calendar. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to have Rob share a link to where you can actually get on their exclusive list so that you'll be emailed that link as soon as it's available. So you have if you don't want to track it, we'll definitely give you that opportunity as well, and you'll be able to stay in touch with all different types of things that they're going to be bringing forward as well. So make sure to mark that on your calendar. And I'm thinking with that date just around the corner from you, Shari, anything that you're experiencing or kind of thinking about, or an additional impossible dream you have with the book as you're leaning into the launch day?
Oh, we would just be so happy if everyone wanted to read it. And it's pretty fun for me to be able to share with people that I know and with people that because we've moved so many places, to be able to share that information and it's a contact that means even more because there's something, that little book is so cute, and it's something to share with those people. And especially our relatives and the people that we've known over the years, are really excited about being able to have that. In fact, I've had conversations with them. I want 5 books, or I need one for each one of my families. And it's been really fun to realize how many people really want to have copies who really care about it.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Well, I know that you also selected the cover, like you chose, this is the one. So I'd love for you to share, why did you know that was the cover? What about it?
Well, I like the colors, and I've always liked colors. And from the time I was in first grade, I liked colors. And so I really liked, we had done it. And then you have a design team that worked on it to add some things. And And I just really liked the way it turned out. And so I felt like it really reflected the story.
Yes. Yes. I like the colors. I like the font even used for the title and the vibrancy of it. And it is. I feel like it does really represent the story well, and it makes you want to lean in and discover what is Pumpkin's impossible dream that he has. And I think it's a very unique take on things, because I don't think we always think about pumpkins perhaps having dreams. So I love that this one does.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, any final thoughts on your heart and mind that you would like to share with our listeners today?
I just want them to know that we have done this out of love, and we hope that it will be received with love. And as I said before, art is in the heart, and we hope that it touches hearts.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I know it's an extra busy time prior to launch, and I hope that everyone out there feels your love and receives that and sees that in every picture and word that has been created in this book that is soon to be released in the world. Well, thank you. And we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And listeners, I want you to think about, what is something you create from that love within you? What is something that you could bring forward, even if it feels like an impossible dream? What is it that you are wanting to take steps on? And maybe Pumpkin can inspire you on your journey as well. We'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. And I hope as you have joined us in our conversation today that you have smiled, that you have felt your heart touched, that you have been encouraged and inspired, and maybe reminded of a dream you had when you were 14 years old that is on your list, coming to your heart, that reminder. Maybe it feels impossible and out of reach, and I want you to know today that you can go for that dream. You can pursue it. You can take steps towards it. You can live and bring those dreams closer and closer. So I hope you've been inspired today. I hope you've written and marked on your calendar September 24th so that you can take advantage of leaning in to get this beautiful book at its special rate to enjoy, perfectly timed for the holidays and for Pumpkin's beautiful journey. So Pumpkin's Impossible Dream. And I have really enjoyed having both of our guests on today as they have shared from their hearts about working on this project together, bringing it forward. And I love the love that has been put into every word and every drawing that's going to be shared, and that echoing some of what Shari said about really that you can feel that love as you flip through each of the pages and enjoy this powerful book. I know I did as I enjoyed it, and I've read it over and over just because I have fallen in love with Pumpkin as well. So I hope that each of you enjoy it and take steps today to bring forward those impossible dreams that are on your heart and on your spirit. And I promised during the show that you would have an opportunity to get on their exclusive book list. So I'm going to have Rob come on and share where that is, what the URL is that you can go to be able to get on their list, their exclusive list, so that you'll be notified as soon as the book's available, and they'll send you that special link so you can lock in that amazing rate on that day. So Rob, do you mind sharing the best way for them to connect and go deeper?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. If you would go to robgibbonspoetry.com, so ROBGIBBONS poetry.com, robgibbonspoetry.com. There's a website there, and we would love to have you on it, and we will definitely put you on an email list and share that information with you when it comes out.
Perfect. I love it. And they also, if you look at the promotional materials that are tied to the show, you can see the expanded bios of both Rob and Shari, as well as ways that you can connect and go deeper as well. So for those of you who are wanting to have that additional connection, I wanted you to know that that is available as well. And I appreciate that site, so that giving us that website link so that we can get on your list and not miss any exciting updates about this book and project, and more to come as you launch it and share it with the world. And I'd love to take a moment and just go around the room as we reflect back on our conversations and just see, is there any final thought or message that is on your heart that you want our listeners to hear or know today? Rob, I'd love to start with you.
Thanks. Let me just share one quick one. I think your theme for this month is balance also in your life, which I love, and I love your show.
Thank you.
I just want to share a really quick thought. When I was about 12 years old, my grandpa sat me down, and he taught me a lesson I've never forgot, and it's this: balance in life. He said a stool that has 3 legs is actually stronger than a stool with 4 legs. And he said those stool legs represent your spiritual side, it represents family, and it represents your social side, work, play, any of those other things. And he says if any of those legs get shorter or longer than the other, what happens to that stool? And he said, of course, it'll tip over. And I've remembered that my whole life. And so my message on my heart: keep the legs of your stool, keep balance in your life. Don't let one of those legs get shorter or longer than the other. And I think we can have a happy, successful life. And the last parting thought: if you have a dream, I would tell you to go for it. As impossible as it seems, please do it. Stop and go for it. It may seem like you can't make it, but I am proof, and my mom is proof, that you can make that happen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that beautiful wisdom that you are sharing and bringing forward. Thank you. Shari, how about you? What do you have on your heart? A final thought or piece of advice that's just on your heart to share with our listeners today?
Well, my dad, since we're talking about him, would say to me, he would stop me going down the hall and he would not let me get past him, and he would say, "Have I told you today that I love you?" And I just loved that he would say it. I was a little embarrassed because I was a teenager.
Sure.
But I appreciate so much that he would tell me that. And I think we need to take the time to let our families know. Yeah. When we hang up the phone, we always say, "Love you," instead of goodbye.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that so much, and I know that just touched my heart and spirit, and I'm sure that it has for our listeners as well. Just remembering to take that moment. And I'm just thinking as we bring our show to a close, I want to thank all of our listeners for leaning in and being part of this conversation to really drink in that message of love I have heard consistently through our time together today, that you are beautifully, wonderfully made, absolutely needed for such a time as this. And I hope you feel the love from our hearts to yours. And if you haven't heard that today, know that we love you, we value you, and we are so blessed and grateful to have you in our hearts and in our lives and as part of our listening audience, that we create this show for you, and hope that you can feel that love and care in every episode. But I wanted to, Shari, thank you for that important reminder. I wanted to share the love so that you do hear it today and know that. And the biggest gift that you can give the world today is being willing to share more of the gift of who you are, who you truly are. So today, I encourage you to take steps to let people know that you love them. Take a moment to share a little bit more of who you are with a gift, with all of your gifts, all of the essence of who you are and what you are bringing to the world. Be willing to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.